Next item, please.
Board of Education Business, Acknowledgement of Correspondence.
We did have some correspondence. They came through emails, and most of them have been answered, and I think we've mentioned it before. Sometimes they come individually, sometimes they come to the board as a whole. We do like to send them to the chair or have the chair address them, so we are speaking in one voice. So I've been doing that.
And we've got a few items at our desk as well.
Oh, it looks like nice items, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Next, Board Member Committee and Organization Reports.
Trustee Petchikoff?
Okay, we had our Finance Committee meeting today. Part of it was a presentation you just saw, so I'm not going to do a blow-by-blow again about it. But it also included some conversation that we all have to be aware of and be mindful of. Besides what Mr. Wall presented, we have to think about the fact that in that budget presentation, that moving forward, there has been letters of agreements with our union members across several, and we're still working on another one as we speak, that utilized some of our ESSER funds in order to, I don't want to say congratulate our staff, but to provide incentives financially for the hard work that everybody has gone through during these trying times. But we, in those letters of agreements, also included a $10 million moving forward contract agreements with a longevity and steps that we have provided raises, basically, in those agreements that we have to be mindful of, including in our general fund moving forward. That it wasn't just one-time ESSER funds that we have to offset. We also have to consider that we have a lot of programs that were created with the ESSER funds that we may want to maintain moving forward in the next few years that would also have to come out once those funds are gone. We would have to pay for. So our budget will be looking a lot different after 2023, when a lot of this money has been spent. But that being said, we've, I think, done a good job on how we've made the decisions of what to put those finances towards. We also had a conversation about the technology upgrades that we are going to be facing. There is a 10-year plan that Mr. Addy has shown us that includes a projected outlook that will come before us in chunks and pieces over the next few years of providing for software and hardware upgrades, which includes not only storage issues that we need, but also switches and fiber optics and Chromebooks, which the Chromebooks only have a 5-year lifespan, especially when you have students using them as regularly as they do now. So that being said, we're going to start investing in those technology upgrades, some of which we will be able to be reimbursed down the road from federal funds to the tune of maybe $9 million or so, but we will have to provide out of our own general fund for the rest of the upgrades, and storage is a vital one right now that it's coming to the end of its capacity. So you will be seeing in March a sizable chunk of money going towards providing for that, along with Chromebooks, which come out of our Title I funds. So that's about what the gist of the majority of our Finance Committee meeting was about.
Are there any others? Trustee Barry?
Yeah, going back to correspondence, you guys moved too quickly for me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We all received these cute little letters here thanking us for our service from Duval staff and students. Thank you very much. We appreciate
I haven't read
for
mine yet,
the
but thank you.
Yeah.
yeah, I think we all received it for the City Relation Committee.
Yes.
You asked me to reach out to Council President Michael Serini.
Mm-hmm.
I did. He did have some questions, and I had Dr. Maleko reach out to the attorney, the corporate attorney, and everything's clear there. I also reached out to Mayor Hammoud this morning to get him up to par about the committee. I will be talking to his secretary and his chief of staff tomorrow morning to try to start nailing down a date. My colleagues, Trustee Watts and Trustee Petrikov, we'll be having a discussion on what we plan, what are our goals for this year before we get into that meeting. We'll keep that communication. And obviously, Dr. Maleko and administration too. So I want to give you a brief update where we're at.
Thank you. Couple things I want to say about the committees. I finally finished the committee assignments, and so I sent them out. Thank you, everyone, for agreeing to serve and doing the work you do. Folks at home and folks from the community see the work that we do here at the boardroom. But there's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. And as Trustee Barry said, this is a good team. This is a really good team. We don't always agree, but we like each other. We work together. When we have disagreements, we come to reasonable conclusions. And we always show each other respect and civility. And so I just want to thank the team for the hard work that you do behind the scenes and for being such a good group of people to work with. And I mean that sincerely. And there's a lot of work that goes on with this board, so thank you so much. I have something that I want to share as far as, I also wanted to thank Trustee Petrikov for her suggestion on the city relations group that we have dual chairs, one chair from the city and one chair from the district. And when I had a preliminary conversation with President Serini, he agreed that that was a really good idea. So I just want to say thank you so much. I think that's going to work out well. It's going to make it easier to get folks together. It's going to be able to delegate the work a little bit easier and be a bridge between the two groups. So thank you for that suggestion. I think it's going to work out really well. I also wanted to say that I serve on the Wayne County Association of School Boards. We haven't been meeting very much because of COVID, but we did meet recently. I sent you all some information about CBA classes that are being offered locally, so you wouldn't have to drive to the Lansing site of the MASB, or if you prefer not to take them online, that is offered. And I believe that Wayne County Association of School Boards will be reimbursing the district for at least a portion of that for those who decide to take the classes. They're going to be held next month, and then there's some more in September. They are normally held at Wayne Risa when they're held locally. Due to COVID, we have had some meetings that have been moved over to the Lincoln Park Administrative Building. So it would be one of those two locations. As of now, I think it will be Lincoln Park, but that may be changing. But again, it's locally. Either way, we're in the center of both of those. It's not far to go. So keep that in mind. We also discussed, they had been looking for, and it's been on hold for the last couple of years, the MSBA does awards for board members who finish CBA classes. They do awards for boards. They do a lot of awards. And the local county is responsible, the county association is responsible for finding somebody in that county that would put on the award ceremony for the next year. So they had reached out and asked if anyone would be interested in it. I haven't committed yet, but I think it would be I'm getting looks here from Trustee Thorpe.
Do it.
I think it would be an excellent time for an opportunity for us to showcase our district, showcase our food service, showcase our students and the talents that they do. And so I would like to just bring it to the board and tell them, with your approval, I would like to go forward and tell them that we would love to host that event. It will be in the spring next year. Real quick, let me add one thing. The cost is very minimal because the cost is determined and then it's passed on to the folks that buy tickets for that event. The tickets usually run about $30, so that's all figured out. And Wayne County has offered to reimburse as long as it's within reason, cost over and above. So, trustee Thorpe?
I know, President McDonald, you were there when I got my award for completing the CBA 100 courses. Dr. Malik was there as well. I think it was at Stevenson in Livonia.
It was.
And it was great. They had catered it, so we were in the foyer area, the reception area in front of their community the community center that they have. I think it would be great to host that and show off our buildings
Oh,
to
and
some
boy,
of the
can we
other
show
districts.
off.
I will say that I was on the board when we did host that many years ago. Pam Adams was the one who had, just a word of caution, we had a whole group of one local board who refused to pay.
Okay,
They thought that they should get in for free, and we had an argument at the door, basically. I won't
I
mention
think
who
that
they
may
were.
have already been,
So we want to
out.
make sure that we have the opportunity if to collect in advance and not let people just show up and say the next person's got the check.
I think it may, I'm not sure, I can ask the next time we have a meeting, but I think the payment may go through the Wayne County Association now because of problems. I don't know for sure, but I
Yeah.
will find out.
Well-
But thank you for bringing that to our attention.
And we did it at the Michael Berry Career Center because it had just opened up, and so we were showcasing that at the time.
Right. Okay, so if everybody's in agreement, then I will tell them that we would be more than happy to host next year. And again, it will be in the spring, but I don't have a date locked down, more information to come. One other thing I do, so anyone that's interested in CBA classes or things like that, you will be awarded at that event next year, which takes place here, so you might want to take that into consideration when you're getting your awards. And I have said this before, us being the third largest district in the state, I think that we should be an honor board where every one of our members has passed the basic first level CBA classes. So I think that's important. I think that we should, if possible. Some of us already have, but not all of us. So I just want to throw that out there. Are there any questions?
Just to comment, I already finished all my 100 level classes last year, so.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm
Thank
ahead
you.
of the curve, I think, so,
Yay.
thank you.
Okay, excuse me. Is there anything else under,
That was board reports.
yeah, board reports? No. Next item, please.
Board members, superintendent commentary.
Trustee Watts.
February being Black History Month, something that I did not know, and just being a history aficionado, the month of February and why we celebrate it Black History Month is because in 1926, for those who are listening, there was a gentleman who was a historian, and his name was Carter Woodson, and he was the founder of the African American Studies. And he decided to choose the month of February because it was already celebrated in the African American community because of Lincoln's birthday and because of Frederick Douglass's birthday. And originally was for a week. And in the 1960s, with the unrest in the civil rights movement, it was then decided and was pushed by President Ford to become a month celebration. However, it was not passed into law from Congress until 1986. So for those students who are probably not still up, that is why we have February as Black History Month. So just a little of my history. So I hope everybody is able to celebrate and now knowing the purpose for behind this month.
Thank you for the history lesson. Next. Trustee Moses, please.
Thank you. And I'm glad that we do celebrate this History Month, and not only in history and literature that we do celebrate people who have worked in their lives, such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X and other icons of the civil rights movement who have strived for equity and equality in this country. I also want to mention, I know our student speakers, I forgot the female student's name, but Mr. Rani Abdullah, the Edsel Ford senior, who actually is going to Stanford. He was wearing the Stanford jersey or a sweater, was also selected to that prestigious scholarship. But I'd like to congratulate all of the students who received their acceptance letters from multiple universities, including also our own Henry Ford College. And if there are seniors who haven't applied, there's still time to apply, so please go ahead and apply. Henry Ford College has wealth of programs that you can apply to. I know Mr. Cavalluna, the president of the college, was here with us today. I also attended Career Day at Ford, and because of quarantine reasons, I attended from home, and it was as not as interesting as it would be in person, but I'm glad that I had the opportunity to speak to students for 45 minutes, and they were very appreciative. And some actually have emailed me, so that means I was very interesting, Mr. Barry, right? Elections Day is March 1st. It is a special election, so I know not a lot of people are aware that there will be elections. It is because of the current vacancy in the state legislature for our district, District 15. So there will be the primary on March 1st, and then there will be May also. That's a general election. So if you haven't seen the ballot, please go to vote411.org, a service by the League of Women Voters that offers information about who is running for the Democratic nomination as well as the Republican nomination for this seat.
And
Yeah.
and Trustee Moses, can we clarify, because I live in Karen Whitsett's
Oh, yeah.
district,
So
that
there are
not
three
the
districts.
entire
Yeah, there are
city
three
is going to be
precincts
voting.
in Dearborn that do not have that special election, which is 3 and 4
3,
and 5.
9, and 6.
Yeah. And they are being represented
They're
by.
East End,
Yeah, by
District,
different
so there might be
representatives.
some confusion, because absentee ballot
Have gone to
had gone
people who
to
are.
people,
yeah.
and we will not be
So
voting.
know that for schools, yeah, I'm glad that we're doing a virtual day for that day, because I was also equally concerned. I know for primaries, we don't usually have the day out because it's usually in August. So, but for the general election, are we anticipating, Dr. Maliko, that for the March 1st general election, that we may have another virtual
You
day?
mean May
You mean
1st?
May?
Was it May 1st?
March 1st is the primary.
And the general is
general's
May.
in May, but I don't know the date.
And we're already off
We're
that day.
scheduled off already.
Oh, we're scheduled off for Eid, is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it is, yeah. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Trustee Thorpe?
Both of these items were, one of them was mentioned, the other one was not. But I'll start with the donations. A lot of the donations, as usually, came from the Dearborn Education Foundation. They're going to be holding one of their main annual fundraisers coming up in just about 2 weeks. After you go and vote in your special election, if you're eligible to do it, and even if you don't go out to that, but you can still go to the Mardi Gras fundraiser that they're going to be holding that evening. I will assume that there's a link to it from the homepage or on the Dearborn Ed Foundation. Is that the name of the website for them?
Yes.
So you can get your tickets for that one. It was mentioned by the students earlier during commendations about the Dearborn Unified Hockey Team winning the Mayor's Cup. I attended the hockey game. It was great seeing the students of Dearborn High and Edsel Ford sitting together cheering for a common team. Having the Divine Child students there, I mean, it was a great community event. Looking forward to additional events like that, and it was good to see our hometown team win.
Anyone else? I was going to mention that, so thank you for that on the foundation, the Mardi Gras event. The only thing I have is congratulations to Matt Stafford for winning Super Bowl.
You mean
So,
the Detroit Rams also?
yeah, he deserved it. He's a great guy, and I'm glad to see that happened. Anyone else? Nope. Next item, please.
Requests for information and/or future agenda items.
Trustee Petchkoff.
Yeah, I know we just recently had a presentation for high schoolers about all the different types of programs we have class-wise. I would also like to do, and we haven't done this in a while, but we have done it a few years ago, give all of our high school students and maybe middle school students too an overview of all the clubs that they could join when they get into the high schools, the service clubs, the, any kind of clubs that they would be able to participate in, and understand what opportunities are out there for them and what it would, how it would benefit them as well. Some of the clubs like Kiwanis and Rotary and everything, would they volunteer, they, I believe, get some kind of credit of volunteer work and whatever. And I think that would be a good way to introduce it again to the community at large of what's available.
I agree, that's a good idea. And also, those groups have been suffering from low membership, and especially with the pandemic, it has made it the worst. They do a lot for our students giving back, so I think this is a great opportunity for also students to get involved socially in something that they might not normally think of. So thank you for that
Right.
suggestion.
Thank you.
Trustee Thorpe?
I'm all hooked up. At last week's chatting with the superintendent event at Edsel Ford, there were several parents that got up that mentioned electives for specifically high school, some with middle school. It doesn't need to be an agenda item, but Dr. Maleko, could you provide us with information about the electives that are offered at the individual high schools and maybe the process that we go through about how those electives are chosen to be offered? Thanks.
I have one request of information, and I
Trustee
already
Rosen?
talked to Mr. Mashore, and perhaps Dr. Maliko. I don't think we connected last week, and I want to speak to you about it. It's the flow of traffic at Fortson High School. I've had some parents reach out, and I redirected them to you. Some parents are really worried about the safety of drop-off and pickup. So I don't know what we can, I know we've spoken about security doing rounds, but police presence there does a lot of calming the situation, because students tend to come late sometimes and they tend to rush things over and not obey traffic laws. So I'd like just to get some history and information about how we're controlling the flow of traffic at Fortson. I know we did a great job at Dearborn with a redirection, but also, and Edsel is kind of different situation with the flow, because it has a huge parking lot, but Fortson doesn't.
Yeah, we have a group that, I think it's the same group that studied at Dearborn High. We're doing the study at Fortson as well.
Thank you. Yeah.
When did that start, Dr. Maliko, or when do you anticipate it coming to a conclusion?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check with Mr. Andrews.
Okay, you added in board briefs then next time. Trustee Barry?
I know Trustee Moses mentioned Fortson High School, but I'd like to see Edsel Ford and Dearborn High included in that report, because it's a mess at all three high schools. Dearborn High, you got kids getting dropped off like right in the middle of Outer Drive. So I know there's a police officer there, but, what can you do? I mean,
Yeah.
hundreds of kids are crossing the street, getting dropped off. It's not,
The same thing was happening at Edsel on Rotunda, so.
Yeah.
They try to avoid getting in the
Yeah,
line,
yeah.
but safety first.
Once we set up that drop-off and pickup at Dearborn High, it was working perfect. And I know a certain individual that was kind of directing traffic for a while, he was doing a great job. But now it's a mess. Like literally, if you don't show up a half hour early to get in line to pick up your student, you're there for like a half hour after the bell rings. So yeah, let's include all three high schools, please.
You know what? You could do it for the whole district. I'll hear people from Bryant talking about what chaos it is over there. I know in the past, some of the elementary schools, then you
right.
worry about, do the kids dart between the cars, not cross where they're supposed to? Do the parents give the kids time to cross at the designated crosswalks? And I think this would also be something then for the city relations committee to go back and we've got a new police chief along with a new mayor and other positions. Let them know the importance of the partnership that we've got with them.
Thank you. Anyone else? Next item, please.
Future meeting dates, Monday, February 21st, 2022, HFC Board of Trustees meeting, 7 p.m. at the Administrative Services and Conference Center, Henry Ford College in the Rosenau Boardroom. Monday, March 14th, 2022, P12 Board of Education meeting, 7 PM at the Administrative Service Center in the Frank Franchi Boardroom.
We are adjourned, 2 for 2.